Time is the only currency that does not replenish. You can lose money and earn it back. You can lose possessions and replace them, but time, once spent, can never be returned. Every second that passes is a small piece of your life given away. That is why we must be mindful of whom we give it to. There are people in our lives who constantly ask for our time. They want our presence, our attention, our availability. On the surface, this may seem harmless. You may even feel flattered at first. They call you, they need you, they lean on you. But if you pay closer attention, you will see the imbalance. They are not asking for your time with respect. They are asking for it with entitlement. Respect is a form of awareness. When someone respects your time, they are aware of your life, your priorities, your energy. They acknowledge that your time is not infinite, that you are not always available, and that every moment you give them is a moment taken from something else. Your work, your rest, your passions, your peace. But when someone lacks this awareness, they treat your time as if it belongs to them. They show up late without apology. They cancel plans at the last minute with no concern for how you rearranged your day. They expect immediate responses, constant availability, and become offended when you set boundaries. This kind of relationship is not just inconvenient, it is spiritually draining. When you continually give your time to someone who disrespects it, you begin to feel invisible. Your needs, your pace, your inner world, they are all pushed aside to accommodate someone who doesn't even see them. That creates an imbalance. In the Shaolin philosophy, balance is everything, in our bodies, our minds, and our relationships. A person who asks for your time but does not respect it is not truly interested in you. They are interested in what you can give them, and when you stop giving, their interest will fade. This is a transactional connection disguised as closeness. It is easy to mistake constant communication for true connection. But connection without mutual respect is just noise. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a friend who always wants to meet, always wants to talk. At first, this might feel like they care deeply, but then you notice they never ask if you're free. They never wonder if you're tired or busy. They just assume, they expect. And when you cannot meet their expectations, they become distant or even angry. In that moment, what they reveal is not care, but control. They do not value your time. They want to control it. And we must ask ourselves, why do we allow it? Often, the reason we continue to give our time to such people is because we fear conflict. We fear appearing selfish. We think, maybe I'm being too harsh, or they mean well. But intention is not enough. If someone means well but consistently acts without awareness or consideration, their presence becomes a weight. It is like carrying a stone that was handed to you with kindness. But a stone is a stone, no matter how gently it is passed. Kindness must flow in both directions. When you offer someone your time, and they offer you respect in return, that is harmony. That is a relationship that nourishes. But when the exchange is one-sided, you are giving pieces of your life to someone who does not even see the cost. The cost is not just minutes and hours. The cost is energy. Focus, peace, the time you give to someone is time not given to yourself. So when someone wastes your time, they are not just disrespecting your schedule. They are disturbing your inner stillness. This is why boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They allow the respectful in and keep the disrespectful out. Saying no does not mean you do not care. It means you care deeply about yourself, your path, your purpose. And when you honor your time, you teach others how to honor it too. In the temple, there is a saying, how you spend your time is how you shape your life. If your time is given to chaos, your life becomes chaotic. If your time is given to clarity, your life becomes clear. So, look around you, who asks for your time and who respects it, who calls only when they need something, who listens when you speak, who waits for you to be ready, who gets upset when you say no. These are the questions that reveal truth. And the truth, no matter how quiet, is always there. Do not fear distance. Sometimes stepping back is the most loving act you can offer to yourself and to others, because in that space you allow growth, understanding, and perspective. And in that silence you hear the most important voice, your own. Guard your time. It is the essence of your life. Give it wisely, receive it gratefully, and never trade it for anything less than respect. There are people in life who do not ask for your money, your skills, or even your time directly. What they want is something more subtle, your energy. At first, it might seem like simple conversation, a routine interaction, a moment of companionship. But over time, you begin to feel a heaviness. You leave their presence more tired than before. You start to notice a pattern. You bring light, and they bring shadow. You offer peace, and they answer with complaint. You reach for balance, and they respond with chaos. This is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet. Quiet like a fog that slowly covers your clarity. These individuals do not always come with anger or malice. Often they come with stories of misfortune, endless problems, or grievances against the world. And each time you listen, you empathize, you give them your attention, your heart, your spirit. But no matter how much energy you give, it never seems to change anything. They return again and again with the same darkness, the same complaints, the same negativity. It is not healing they seek, it is an audience. Energy is invisible yet deeply felt. In the same way the body responds to food, the spirit responds to energy. Positive energy nourishes, negative energy depletes. When you are around someone who constantly complains, blames, or gossips, your body may stay silent, but your spirit speaks. It feels tight, drained, heavy. This is a sign not to ignore. Not all conversations are exchanges, some are withdrawals. There are people who are like emotional black holes. They pull everything in but give nothing back. They ask for your energy when they want to vent, but disappear when you need support. They expect your presence during their storms, but are absent in your silence. They feed on your empathy, but starve your growth. To them, your energy is not sacred, it is service. They confuse emotional dumping with closeness. But true connection does not leave you exhausted. It does not feel like labor. It feels like breathing, mutual, natural, shared. In Shaolin philosophy, we are taught that energy flows like water. When water flows freely, it nourishes all it touches. But if it is blocked, disturbed, or polluted, it becomes stagnant. When someone continually pours negativity into your space, they are disrupting your flow. They are not simply sharing, they are offloading. And you become the container for emotions that were never yours to hold. You may wonder, shouldn't I be compassionate? Shouldn't I support those in pain? Of course, but compassion without wisdom becomes self-sacrifice. You must discern between someone who is struggling and seeking change, and someone who is choosing to stay in darkness and wants company, not light. The difference is in the response. A person who truly wants healing will listen, reflect, and grow. Even if slowly, they will begin to shift, but someone addicted to negativity will resist every solution you offer. They will find a problem for every possibility. To them, the problem is not a burden, it is an identity. And any threat to that identity, even in the form of help, will be rejected. This is when you must protect your inner temple. Just as you would not let someone walk into your home and scatter dirt across your floor, do not let someone walk into your life and scatter negativity across your mind. You are not responsible for saving those who refuse to swim. You can throw a rope, but if they do not grab it, you must let go or risk drowning too. In the temple, we practice silence, not just to avoid noise, but to listen inward. If you feel drained after every interaction with a certain person, listen. If you dread their messages, their calls, their presence, listen, that is your spirit speaking. It is saying, this energy is not for you. You do not have to hate them, you do not have to judge them, but you must release them with love and clarity, not because they are bad people, but because your peace is more important than their comfort. You are not their healer, you are not their therapist. You are a human being with your own battles, your own journey, your own energy to protect. Choose to be around those who inspire, not drain. People who speak of ideas, of growth, of possibilities. People who lift you even when they are tired themselves. People who know how to hold space for your struggles without making them about their own. These are the ones who understand the sacred exchange of energy. Energy is life. Every interaction is an offering. Be mindful of what you give and to whom. There is strength in walking away, not with anger, but with wisdom. There is courage in saying, I choose light. Because when you protect your energy, you protect your peace. And when you protect your peace, you live not just longer, but deeper. Loyalty is a sacred thread that binds human hearts together. It is not something to be demanded. It is something to be earned, nurtured, and protected. To be loyal is to stand beside someone not just in moments of comfort, but also in times of hardship. It is to choose presence when absence would be easier. But this sacred act loses its value when it is asked by those who do not honor it in return. There are people in life who ask for your loyalty. They want your support, your silence, your protection. They want you to be on their side no matter what. But what they are really asking for is not loyalty, it is obedience. And that is a different thing entirely. True loyalty is mutual. It is built on trust, on shared values, on a foundation of respect. But some people demand your loyalty while living in contradiction. They ask for your trust and then betray it. They ask for your silence and then speak behind your back. They want you to defend them while they do not defend you. And when you question this imbalance, they label you as disloyal, not because you failed to stand with them, but because you refused to be used. Loyalty cannot be one-sided. When you are loyal to someone who consistently breaks your trust, you are not being noble, you are abandoning yourself. You are watering a plant that has no intention of growing. In time, it becomes clear they never valued your loyalty. They valued your silence. They valued your compliance. They valued the benefits of your presence, but not the weight of your truth. To betray trust is not always done through dramatic actions. Sometimes it happens in small ways. Promises made and broken. Secrets shared in confidence, later exposed, words twisted, boundaries ignored. Each act is a crack in the foundation, and loyalty cannot survive in a structure that is slowly falling apart. When you give loyalty to someone who proves unworthy of it, your spirit begins to feel a quiet tension. It is the discomfort of standing for someone who would not stand for you. It is the burden of defending what you no longer believe in. It is the silence you keep when your heart wants to speak, and that silence becomes a weight. In the monastery, we are taught that loyalty to others must never come at the expense of loyalty to ourselves. This is not selfishness, it is integrity. If someone asks you to turn away from your values in the name of loyalty, what they are asking for is not a bond, it is control, and no sacred connection can grow where control is the root. There is a danger in confusing history with harmony. Just because someone has been in your life for a long time does not mean they deserve your continued loyalty. Time spent together is not the same as trust earned. Loyalty that is built on fear of losing someone is not loyalty. It is dependence, and dependence weakens your spirit. There may come a moment when you must choose between being loyal to someone else and being loyal to your truth. This moment is a test of character. It is not easy. You may feel guilt. You may feel alone, but know this. Choosing your truth is not betrayal, Betrayal is pretending, staying silent, standing beside dishonesty because it is easier than walking away. When someone betrays your trust and still demands your loyalty, they are asking you to lie to yourself and to the world. They are asking you to carry the weight of their dishonor so they can continue walking freely. But that is not love, that is not friendship, that is not respect. It is manipulation disguised as closeness. The strongest relationships are not the ones where loyalty is demanded. They are the ones where loyalty flows naturally, because it is built on truth, transparency, and mutual care. In such bonds, you don't have to question where you stand. You don't have to hide your thoughts or fear your feelings. You are seen, you are safe. So when someone asks for your loyalty, look at their actions. Do they protect your trust as fiercely as you protect theirs? Do they speak of you with respect when you are not in the room? Do they listen when you express pain, or do they turn it against you? These answers will tell you everything. Do not be afraid to walk away from those who misuse your loyalty. You are not being disloyal. You are being honest. Sometimes the most loyal thing you can do is step away from what no longer honors your soul. To let go of what is false is to make space for what is true. Honor yourself. Be loyal to your path, to your values, to the voice inside you that knows what is right. When you are loyal to that voice, you will attract others who are loyal to the same light. And together, you will build relationships that do not ask for silence, but invite truth, that do not need proof because trust is already present. This is the kind of loyalty that lasts, not because it is forced, but because it is free. There is a silence that nourishes the soul, and there is a silence that suffocates it. One arises from inner peace, the other from outer pressure. It is important to understand the difference, for not all silences are sacred. Sometimes silence is not chosen, it is demanded, and often those who ask for your silence are not doing so for your benefit, but for their own comfort. There are people who do not want your truth. They do not want your questions, your boundaries, your honest words. They want quiet, but not the kind of quiet that brings harmony. They want the kind of quiet that protects their illusion. They ask you to keep the peace, but what they truly mean is, don't disturb the pattern I've grown used to. Don't challenge the story I tell myself. Don't make me see what I refuse to face. And so you begin to hold back. At first, it is subtle, a small thing you choose not to say, a reaction you suppress, a question you swallow. You convince yourself it is better this way, not worth the conflict. But over time, this becomes a habit. You begin to shrink in their presence. You begin to edit yourself. You tell them only what they want to hear. You laugh when you are not amused. You agree when your heart resists. You nod while your spirit shakes its head. This silence is not peace, it is imprisonment. Peace is a state of being. It is what happens when the inner and outer worlds are in alignment, when you feel free to be yourself without fear of judgment or punishment. But silence that is forced, that is demanded, that is used as a condition for acceptance, that kind of silence is the enemy of peace. It creates a war inside you, between what you feel and what you are allowed to say, between who you are and who you must pretend to be. In the temple, silence is not the absence of speech. It is the presence of awareness. We learn to be silent, not to suppress, but to listen deeply to the body, the breath, the mind. But when someone outside asks you to be silent, not to encourage your awareness, but to silence your discomfort, they are not honoring your stillness. They are avoiding their own. You may hear phrases like, "Don't make it a big deal," or "Let's just move on," or "Why are you always so sensitive?" These words are not about resolution, they are about avoidance. They are tools used to deflect responsibility and maintain control. And over time, they convince you that speaking your truth is the problem. That expressing pain is a burden, that asking for honesty is unreasonable, so you stop. You retreat into yourself, but that retreat comes at a price. What you do not express, you begin to carry. The unspoken emotions sit inside you like stones. The longer you carry them, the heavier they become, and eventually your silence turns into resentment, not just toward others, but toward yourself for not speaking, for not standing, for not honoring your own voice when it was trembling to be heard. This is why we must be cautious of those who ask for our silence, but not for our peace. They may not do it out of malice. Often they do it out of fear, fear of conflict, fear of change, fear of facing truths they are not ready to confront. But fear is not a reason to deny someone else their expression. True relationships, whether in friendship, family, or love, are built on truth, and truth requires space. It requires the courage to speak and the humility to listen. If someone cannot tolerate your truth, then they do not truly love you. They love a version of you that keeps them comfortable. That version is not real. It is a mask, and wearing it for too long leaves your soul exhausted. There is strength in silence, yes, but only when that silence is a choice, when it comes from a place of clarity and balance, when it creates space for healing, not suppression. But when silence is demanded, when it is used as a shield against discomfort or accountability, it becomes a weapon. And that weapon turns inward. Do not let anyone confuse peace with obedience. Peace is not the absence of noise. It is the presence of understanding. You do not owe anyone your silence, especially if that silence is causing you suffering. Speak when your heart is heavy. Express when your soul is restless. Honor the voice within you, even if it shakes. When you begin to speak your truth, some will pull away. Let them. Their departure is not your loss. It is your liberation. You are not here to be silent for others. You are here to be whole for yourself. Surround yourself with those who encourage your voice, not those who silence it. With those who welcome your honesty, even when it is difficult. With those who know that real peace is not the absence of conflict, but the presence of truth. In the end, the silence that matters is the one that follows truth, not the one that hides it. Choose that silence. The silence of a clear mind, an open heart, and a spirit unburdened by fear. That is the silence where peace is born.